Teaching number 100. When I come to you as a judge, you hear again that voice of Jehovah that made your body and spirit tremble in the first era. Then, men covered their ears pretending not to hear the omnipotent voice of their Father. Today I say to this people, do not cover your ears, do not close your heart to me, see how my infinite grace extends throughout the universe. Do not fear, I only want the offering of your love. He who has missed me has displeased me. Have you perhaps missed me? If so, recognize that I have also descended as Father and as Master to forgive you and teach you again the way of salvation. My judgment is of love, not revenge. If I come to touch men with my justice, it is because I want to save them. If I come to take away the scepters from kings, it is because I want them to be humble. If I come to claim those who lead humanity, it is because I have seen that it is not love, peace or justice that they have sown in the hearts of their peoples. I only see that the fields have been sown with death, desolation, restlessness and misery. The dead from their silence cry out for justice, and those who are hungry in body and spirit are full of hatred in their hearts, to overflow when the time comes. Humanity, I seek your reconciliation. You do not live in my law, your harmony with your God and with everything created is broken. You do not love each other as among brothers, and that is the secret of happiness that Jesus revealed to you. And if you have lost harmony with one another, do you think you can preserve it with the elements of creation? The hand of man has unleashed justice upon himself, a whirlwind stirs in his mind, in his heart. A storm rages and all this is also manifested in nature, its elements are unleashed, the seasons become inclement, plagues appear and multiply. It is that your sins grow producing diseases and foolish and reckless science does not recognize the order of what is arranged by the Creator. If I only told you, you would not believe it. It is necessary that you feel the result of your works so that you will be disillusioned. You are precisely now at that moment of your life, in which you are going to see the result of everything you have been sowing. You, who have heard this word, ask me in your hearts why I do not stop this disaster that men with their science have been preparing, to which I answer, it is necessary for man to drain the chalice that he has filled. It has been a long time since the nations with their differences of races and their ambitions, have been preparing the fight to destroy themselves. Only my charity is what has stopped them, but that proof of divine mercy, humanity did not want to see or understand. I am only going to leave you for an instant, and that instant of justice will be enough for you to remember the love of your Creator, because no one can exist without my law or my peace. People, you who have had my presence as judge, realize, if my justice were similar to yours, ask yourselves, would I be worthy of being feared or loved? Contemplate how the blessed seed of this doctrine has spread in fulfillment of my word. From the big cities it has come down to the humble regions, traveling the roads and bridging the gap. It will not die, it will be able to cease to exist in a heart that dies to faith, but by then, it will already be sown in other hearts. My word will leave this land to go to other regions looking for hearts to germinate. No one will be able to prevent this doctrine from spreading. Even now the wheat is mixed with the human seed, with all its imperfections, because you have not realized the essence of my doctrine, but when you open the eyes of the Spirit and your senses awaken to the truth, you will contemplate the divine purity of this revelation and then embrace it with all the love and zeal of your heart. You will carry it clean and pure, to make it known to humanity, that is divided and far from the path of my law. If you think that my word only speaks to those present, you are wrong. My word is for everyone who receives it, whether today, tomorrow or a long time from now. It will be the same if they receive it through a spokesman, by a witness or by means of a writing. Your Father says to those present and to those in the future, if you want to be sowers of truth, cultivators of the spiritual, companions of peace, recognize the perfection of my seed and cleanse your heart. I will raise them up one by one in the fight, pointing out paths and cleaning up regions. Apparently it will be material needs that take you to other places, but the truth will be that it was your mission that raised you up to show you the extension of uncultivated or half-cultivated lands, so that in them you can deposit the blessed seed that my Spirit has delivered to you in this third era. Pray for all the servants, brothers. Yours, unite all in a prayer of equality and fraternity, watch over congregations whether large or small, near or far. Let the sap of the tree of life run through your being, so that your fruits may also be of life. My teaching is profound, disciples, but I have placed within your reach the means for you to understand it. Receive the beings from the beyond that I have sent you with a message of light to help you move from the spiritual to the divine. Listen to them, advising you to remove all materiality from your heart, so that you can transport yourself to the divine. Who better than them to talk to you about spirituality? When they mention the spiritual mansion, they speak to you with knowledge, because that is where they come to you from. Those beings pass through the crucible of purification, their struggle, their repentance for past faults, their experience and spiritual elevation, have been the merits that I have found in them to send them to manifest among my people. They are clean and can speak clean to the world, they love me and they love you, therefore, they have the right to speak of love, they are saturated with health and for that reason they can impart health to the sick. I have sent you as an example to mankind, imitate them making yourselves worthy to speak of love, regeneration, peace, spirituality. If you do so, in truth I tell you that among my people there will be no hypocritical Pharisees, of those who took great care of their material appearance and hid rottenness and slime in their hearts. Those who receive in their minds the vibration of these beings and those who listen to their messages, must let them fully manifest so that their memory is imperishable in the heart of the multitude and their seed is immortal in the heart of the community. Humanity, beware that their communication with this people will end in 1950. The inspiration of that higher world will continue to guide and inspire the disciples of the Lord, although I warn you that it takes time. In time your communication will be more subtle and higher as your spirituality is greater. This path is to go along it without stopping, although I must also tell you that you have to go through it step by step, and not in a dizzying race. Do not sink into rut, understand when the time has come to take another step on the path, it is not too early to give it, but neither do you delay in doing it. The way not be stagnant is to stay with my word, separating yourselves from any external act with which you would like to substitute the true fulfillment of my teaching. You also have me as Master, as Father, as Doctor. Open your hearts, O multitudes, who come with your burden of pain. Close your eyes for a moment to the mundane and you will feel the presence of the spiritual. The tired walker will perceive the shadow of an invisible tree that covers and comforts him. The heart in need of affection will feel that it has entered the divine home where the voice of the Father is heard, as if it were a concert. The patient will have the sensation that a gentle and merciful hand has passed over his wound, filling it with balm and calming his pain. Learn to approach me, learn to ask me, to wait and to receive, then you will see how the prodigies become evident in your life. This is a time when man will put his share of spirituality and faith for the new miracles to be performed. The world would like to see again the works that Jesus did before men, to which I say to you, that you should not insist on continuing to live an era that has already passed. You have entered a new time, and in it I will give you lessons that have not yet been revealed to you and I will repeat my works, but now in a more spiritual way. You must be vigilant, disciples, because I will not only speak to you through this conduit, I will also seek to communicate with your spirit in the moments in which your body sleeps. I will teach you to penetrate with preparation in that rest and that your spirit detaches so that it may rise to the regions of light, from where it will take the prophecy to illuminate its path, transmitting its message to the understanding. The disciple who knows how to receive his master at the moment in which he seeks him, has no stumbling block on the path, nor does he consider himself weak or alone in the fight. Come to understand what is the spirituality that I want from you, so that you will not be confused in a fanatical mysticism, which instead of facilitating your spirit to understand the divine lessons, puts before them new darkness. Prepare yourselves, disciples, let your spirit begin to contemplate the life that awaits it, that world that keeps in its arcanum infinite greatness for the children of my divinity. Do not delay the hour in which your spirit comes to have that joy. My people grow, multiply, not only on earth but also in the spiritual valley. Among those spiritual multitudes are those who had blood ties with you, whether they were your parents, brothers, or children. Don't be surprised if I tell you that my people are so numerous that the earth could not shelter them and that they are much larger still. When I have already reunited them and not a single one of my children is missing, infinity will be given to them as a dwelling place, that valley of light and grace that never ends. Here on earth I only come to prepare you, to instruct you with my doctrine, so that you know how to approach that life. This humanity is only a portion of the people of God. It is necessary for everyone to know these explanations so that they direct their lives towards the ideal of perfection. I want this divine message that is my word poured from the lips of the human spokesman to reach all of humanity. My word is a bell that is calling the world. Its essence will move the people, making them wake up to meditate on spirituality, on the destiny of the spirit after this life. As long as religions remain submerged in their sleep and do not break their routine, there will be no awakening in the spirit, no knowledge of spiritual ideals, and because of the treatment, there will be no peace among men, nor will charity appear. The light that resolves serious human conflicts will not be able to shine. To you who listen to me, I have called you, my people, because I have entrusted you with my doctrine, so that you invite men, not precisely to join you, because you still suffer from imperfections, but to penetrate truth in the path of my law, which is perfect. There are many men distant from you, scattered in the peoples of the earth, hidden among the great multitudes, who are children of my people because they live in my law, and their ideal is to achieve spirituality through love for their fellow men, inspired in the Father. On the other hand, among these multitudes that day after day come to listen to my word, there are those who, despite having listened to me for years and years, still cannot consider them as my people, because instead of love they practice ill will, instead of charity they show selfishness, instead of carrying an ideal of spiritual improvement, selfishness predominates in them and they follow everything that flatters their vanity. I told my disciples at that time, I come to make you heirs of my kingdom, but do not believe that because they were with their master, they became worthy of that grace. Remember that there was one who, having sat down many times to eat with his Lord and having lived with him and heard his word many times, was not worthy to receive that celestial testament that the Master entrusted to his disciples the last time he was with them at the table. The kingdom of the Father is the inheritance of all children. It is essential to attain that grace through great merits of the Spirit. I want you not to see how impossible it is to reach the grace that brings you closer to me. Do not be sad to hear in my word that you will reach the promised land with great efforts and work. Rejoice, because the one who directs his life towards that idea, does not suffer from disappointments nor does he see himself disappointed. It will not happen to him as happens to many who go after the glory of the world, and who after much struggle, do not achieve it, or those who reach it soon have the pain of seeing it vanish until they are nothing. Disciples, my doctrine teaches you that without taking a step away from your human duties and the noble ideals of this life, always carry before you the desire to walk towards God, making yourselves worthy of reaching the reward that He has promised you. The body is so united to the spirit that the latter, when it knows that its envelope suffers, feels as if evil were in him. Take my balm spirits, and anoint your body, overcome pain, impart faith and hope. You come with sadness to mourn your sorrows with me, and the Master is saying, that even when he has much pain to heal among his children, he extends his charity and touches you, so that you feel the miracle of his caress and rise up healthy giving testimony, so that others may come to him. Those who know how to overcome the tribulations of life, never let them disturb their spirit. Here they are receiving my presence with great joy in their heart of disciples, while the one who has allowed himself to be overcome by trials, comes back sad, defeated. Instead of raising a spiritual hymn to me, he shows me only his pain and his tears. I receive this painful offering, but I want you to turn it into an offering of faith, trust and peace. You ask me if there is nothing I can do for you. Ah, my little ones, before you ask me, I have deposited in your hands what you need. But busy in the fight and walking without the light of faith, you do not know how to feel my presence, nor see what I leave in your spirit, nor contemplate the light of the new day that only awaits your awakening so that you can see it shine fully. Ask those who have seen the miracle in their life, ask those who come with joy reflected on their faces. They will open a book with their testimony, where you will read a story that will be an example and a stimulus for your faith. How can you think that I love less the one who suffers the most? How can you take your pain as a sign that I do not love you? If you knew that precisely for love of you I have come, Have I not told you that the righteous are safe and that the healthy do not need a doctor? If you feel sick and in your examination in the light of your conscience you judge yourselves to be sinners, be certain that it is you whom I have come to look for. If you believe that God has ever wept, surely it will not have been for those who are enjoying his glory, but for those who are lost or crying. Here is the perfect path, because in my word is the light that leads to perfection. My spirit enters its true temple, which is your heart. From there you have called me and asked me to come and give you my word, and here I am. You believe in me and speak my name in faith. Whoever keeps my teachings and puts them into practice, he will be saved. Your spirit will not be able to die in the darkness of turmoil, because my blood shed from the cross on Calvary encouraged your spirit to embark on the path of its evolution, following in the footsteps of its master. I bought you at the price of my blood, at the price of love. Since then you are ready to rise from the dead. By listening to me in this way, you intimately confess yourselves to be sinners before my spirit, and when you feel that your spirit is calmed because you have heard the call of conscience, you enter into a communion of love with my divinity. This love that approaches you is the door of the kingdom of heaven that opens before your spirit as an eternal invitation. Who of my children has weakened in his faith and is lost on the way, that I do not approach him to give him life? Who of those who are suffering in silence have not been heard by me? Who has been orphaned on earth has not felt in his life the presence and consolation of Mary who comforts him? Who, while dying, has not heard in his conscience the same voice that said to Lazarus, "Get up and walk"? I am Christ, the consolation and the light of the world. I follow you in your faith or in your doubt, because I know that even the one who denies me the most will finally be with me, overwhelmed by the weight of his works. Come to me all of you who are burdened with sorrows, and with my word I will give you clarity. When you stop listening to me, you will continue to feel my pleasant company. Receive my light so that it illuminates the path of your existence, and at the hour of death you free yourselves from confusion, and in an instant, when crossing the thresholds of beyond, you know who you are, who you have been and who you will be. Hear my parable. A king was found surrounded by his subjects celebrating a victory obtained over a rebellious people, who became his vassals. The king and his people sang victory. The king spoke thus to his people, "The strength of my arm has won and has made my kingdom grow, but I will love the defeated as I love you. I will give them land in my domains to cultivate the vine, and just as I love them I want you to love them." Time passed, and from among that people conquered by the love and justice of that king, a man rebellious to his lord emerged, whom he tried to kill while he slept, only wounding him. Before his crime that man fled full of fear to hide in the darkest jungles, while the king cried about the ingratitude and the absence of his subject because his heart loved him very much. That man, in his flight, fell prisoner to town that was an enemy of the king, and when he was accused of being a subject of the one whom they did not recognize, he, frightened, loudly told them that he was a fugitive, because he had just killed the king, but he was not believed and they sentenced him to die at the stake after tormenting him. When he was about to be thrown into the fire bleeding, the king happened to pass by with his subjects, who were looking for the rebel, and seeing what was happening there, that man raised his arm saying to the executioners, "What are you doing, rebellious people?" And at the majestic commanding voice of the king, the rebels fell prostrate before him. The ungrateful subject, who was still tied by the fire awaiting only the fulfillment of his sentence, was absorbed and surprised to see that the king had not died and that he was approaching step by step towards him to untie him. He took him away from the fire and dressed his wounds, then he brought wine to his lips, dressed him in a new white garment, and after placing a kiss on his forehead, he told him, "My subject, why have you left my side? Why have you hurt me? Do not answer me in words, I just want you to know that I love you, and I tell you right now, come and follow me." The people that witnessed these scenes of charity, amazed and converted, exclaimed, "Hosanna, Hosanna," declaring themselves obedient subjects of that king. That people only received benefits from their lord, and the subject who one day had rebelled, surprised by so much love from his king, made the resolution to repay those demonstrations of unlimited affection, forever loving and venerating his lord, surrendered before his perfect works. Behold, people, my word is very clear. Men fight against me and lose their friendship with me. What harm have I done to men? What harm does my doctrine and my law cause them? Know that as many times as you offend me, you will be forgiven the same, but then you will be obliged to forgive your enemies as many times as they offend you. I love you, and if you take a step away from me, I will take that same step to get closer to you. If you close the doors of your temple to me, I will knock on them until you open them. Enter. If you believe that you are already redeemed because I was on the cross, also understand that you will have to make yourself worthy of that ransom and follow that example. Before me are those who sinned and today are blessed, those who blasphemed and today receive sweetness on their lips, the adulteresses who did not have peace in their conscience have been forgiven so that they do not sin again, because I am the resurrection and the life. If you are the disciples and heirs of the word, never blaspheme. See that I have given you a kind language to express every idea, every inspiration and every feeling. Here is my word, for the ignorant and for the learned. Be the good people, be like a clean mirror so that everyone believes that I am with you. My peace be with you,